back to my channel. So in today's video you're going to see how much progress I've done on the Quilted Witch by Holt, Daughter's Graduation Quilt, Serpentine Web by Bonnie Hunter, and Friendship Sampler by Leah. So I hope you enjoy watching the progress I've made on these 4 quilts. And if you do, can you please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and let's get on with the video. So my first progress I'm showing you is from String Frenzy by Bonnie Hunter, and it is Serpentine Web, and it's actually that one that's on the cover. That is the quilt I am doing. So this is the second project from this book in particular. So you'll be able to see the quilt diagram, and this is how I keep track of the blocks I've done and the blocks I still need to do. So the blocks I've done, you'll be able to see I mark a big fat cross in the center of it. So then I know they're the blocks I've done, and anything without that cross are the blocks I need to do. So I know how many more I roughly need to do to have this quilt finished and ready to assemble as a quilt top. So this is a general layout of what I've done so far. This is all the blocks I've done for this quilt so far. This is what it looks like when the rows are sitting next to each other on my design wall. So you can see the pattern and the path that my strings are actually forming through this quilt top. I'm trying to use as many strings and a variety of strings as I can. I just pick and choose. I don't really worry about anything in particular. I just do what I want to do at the time. Like, all this won't be where it is at the moment. This is just what I've done. So this is just the way I've laid it out for the moment. My second project is the Quilted Witch by Holt. This is a quilt along that the Fat Quarter Shop is running at the moment. This is a paid pattern, and you can find it at the Fat Quarter Shop. We don't do Halloween in Australia very much, but my daughter loves Halloween, so I've decided to make this quilt for her because I actually think it's really nice and she likes it as well. So the first block I've done is Quilted Crackle Star, and this is the layout in the pattern of what the block looks like. It was very easy to put together and it came together very quickly. So this is how I've put it together, and the Halloween fabric I've chosen. So the black background is my black homespun, and I'm just using a variety of Halloween prints I've got saved in 2 container full. And that's basically all I'm doing. I'm trying to keep the black away from the black homespun so it stands out, and basically that's the only rule I've got for myself for this quilt. I like the way this block turned out, and I think it looks nice and bright and colourful. So this is block 2, and it is the Candy Star block, and this was a little bit trickier to put together. It was a little bit longer, it had more pieces to assemble this block. And once again, you can see my version of it in my Halloween fabric, because Holt didn't use Halloween fabric, but I'm using Halloween fabric because of it's meant to be a Halloween quilt, and so I'm using my Halloween fabric. But I think it all stands out. I'm just trying to keep it all so the design stands out, and I actually really like this block. It took a bit longer, probably took it maybe an extra hour or something, but it still came together really nicely. So my third quilt is my daughter's graduation quilt. She graduated year 12 in November of 2022. So this is a year late because we're now in November of 2023. So I'm trying to get this finished for her, as this was meant to be for her graduation. So this is front burner, get it done, get it off the list so she can enjoy it. I'm using this sweater pattern, but I'm actually using all of her clothing that I've saved over the years since she's been little. And I remember every bit of clothing I put into this quilt, and so it's more of a memory quilt as well as a congratulations on finishing year 12 and completing all your school years. She would remember 95% of them as well, because I've got things like uniforms, pajamas, old doona covers, skirts, tops, shorts, all that sort of stuff is going in this quilt. So these are the blocks I've done so far, and I'm doing it quilt as you go because I'm making it a king size, which I'm making it about 110 inches square, which is bigger than the pattern calls. So it is going to be quilt as you go because I don't like quilting that bigger quilt on my domestic sewing machine. So it is quilt as you go, and that's why there's an extra border around it that you don't see in the pattern. So it's going to vary just a little bit because of the way I'm putting it together. So I think it's turning out really nice, and I like the way it is looking, and it's going to have a lot of clothing and be a really nice memory thing for her and a trip down memory lane when she gets it. So I've done a few blocks. I've still got a lot more to go. As you can imagine, 110 inches square is a pretty big quilt. So there is still a fair few to go, but I will slowly make progress and slowly get this finished for her. Here are the last two. They just didn't fit on my design wall where you could see them. So this is the last two that I've done. It's a little bit different to the pattern because the sleeves are a different fabric to the actual top of the sweater. And I did that on purpose because I want to put as much clothing in each of these blocks as I possibly can. So I did that on purpose, but that's why that looks a little bit different to the actual pattern. So here's the back of one of the blocks. So all the backs will look like this. So I have pressed all of my seams open because the clothing can be bulky and I want to reduce the bulk and get it to lay flat as much as possible. So 95% of my seams will be pressed open. There'll be maybe a handful that won't be pressed open, but not many because, as I said, it's bulky. Clothing is bulky and I'll need to get this block to lay flat, and I don't want any lumps and bumps in it, so I'm just pressing everything open. Background is an ivory from Homespun, and I haven't starched that because it's clothing and I haven't starched any of the other clothing, so I'm using this one unstarched. So in this clip, this is me just practicing and deciding what quilting design I want. So as you can see, I'm going to do it on the diagonal and a crosshatch. That I do know. That's about the only thing I know with the quilting with this particular quilt. So for these samples, I'm just testing the width of the quilting lines, how far I want the quilting lines to be apart from each other. I want to get them as close as I can, but try and keep it snugly because I want all the bits of clothing to have some sort of quilting in it. Because it's clothing, I want every bit of clothing to have some sort of quilting line in it. So you'll be able to see a pen mark, and that is my trimming line. So that's why I'm going to trim the block when it is quilted and getting it ready to be put in the block. That is an iron off pen, so that will iron off when I heat set it. And I don't care if it comes back in the cold because it's going to be in my seam allowance anyway. So that doesn't worry me too much because I won't see it if it comes back. This is just a bit further away from them. Like you can see, the top one is a little bit further away with the quilting than what the bottom one is. I'm leaning towards the bottom quilting lines because they are a little bit closer together, but I'm still a work in progress. I'm still deciding. My fourth quilt I've got for you is my Friendship Sampler by Leah. I've been wanting to do this for quite a few years now, since probably 2018 or so when she ran this. But once again, as per usual, I don't find the time because I sell quilts on eBay. I need to get a lot of them done and I need to put my time and effort into them. But now I'm going to do something for myself, and this will go on my bed, and this will be a king size quilt when it's finished. So block 1 is Scrappy Stars. So to make a quick king size, you need 2 blocks for each block. So there's 13 blocks. So for block 1, you make it twice. For block 2, you make it twice, and so on and so on. So that's what I need to do. So this is Scrappy Stars. So this is my 2 blocks that I've done. I've tried to do exactly what the name said, Scrappy Stars. So the only time I've used the fabric more than once is in the little stars. The medium star and the large star didn't get the fabric used more than once. But those little stars, I tell you, they were hard, they were long, and they were time consuming. So I decided the easiest thing for them is to use the same fabric twice if I needed to, because they just took forever and it needed so many points per block. And because I'm making 2 blocks because I'm trying to get this to king size, I thought to save time, to save my head, to save a headache, I'll use it more than once if I need to, and I did. So all these fabrics are starched and everything has been pressed open. I haven't shown you the back of this one, but all of these seams are pressed open because, as you can imagine, there are a lot of seams in this block in particular because I've got a lot of those little stars, and that is a lot of seams just there. So I like how the fabrics are popping off of this black background. I think that the background really just makes these blocks pop and makes the blocks look very, very stunning. I also like the design where you have a medium star inside the large star. I think that is really nice, and it's a really nice effect. The second half of all these half square triangles will be used in a future block in this quilt. I haven't thrown them away, they're just going to be used in another block and further down the line. This is a paid pattern that you can find at leahday.com. So I hope you join me in my next video where I will show you the progress of 4 more quilts. So in each video I'm going to just show you the progress of 4 quilts until those quilts are finished, and then I'm going to add a different quilt to that day. So if you like this style of video, please consider subscribing and giving this video a like. And until my next video, God bless and have a great afternoon. See you later.